Any examples used are for illustrative purposes only and do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and may not be suitable for all investors. It is not intended to predict the performance of any specific investment and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. Welcome to the Your Family Bank Show with your host, Larry McLean. Larry and the Your Family Bank team seek to educate Americans just like you by providing real strategies for protecting and growing their hard-earned money. Get set for a show full of economic news and financial information affecting your bottom line. Larry wants you to reach the financial freedom you've worked so hard for. So now let's start the show. Here's Larry McLean.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the podcast. We appreciate you being there today. And so we're excited about being with you today. Hey, please like us on either podcast or YouTube or wherever. It helps us out. We appreciate that. Thanks for all the loyal listeners that we have today. And Matt, how you doing today, buddy? My favorite producer. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Larry. I hope you are as well, and having a good week down in the Sunshine State.
We are, but we don't have a lot of sunshine the last couple of days. I'm telling you what, it's been the weather in Florida has not been good. We had the hottest summer on record, I think. And then this year it's just been cloudy, rainy, and kind of nasty, kind of like the northern weather pretty much. So the Sunshine State, if you will, had been so sunshiny lately, but hopefully it gets better as we go through. But anyway, we've had a good week, buddy. I'm flying out tomorrow to Missouri to speak, and then from there I'm flying to Tampa to speak. So busy week for us, but we want to talk about retirement planning playbook, right? Strategies to help you win with your money in 2024. Now, this is our new theme. We want more in 24, buddy. Yeah, we want more in 24. We're going to kick down the door in 24, that's for sure.
And now for some financial wisdom. It's time for the quote of the week.
Good fortune is what happens when opportunity meets with planning. That means our opportunity meets with work. Hello, that's what, Thomas Edison said that, which is, he's a pretty smart guy for sure back in the day, Mr. Inventor himself. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're doing planning for sure, but opportunity is going to happen that way, right? All right, so let's talk about concerns about the market volatility during 2024 election cycle, because a lot of times we think about that. This is an election year, and here's a few things to keep in mind this year. You should consult with a licensed fiduciary financial advisor to properly allocate your dollars to protect and even grow your money during difficult market conditions. Do not be tempted to make sudden emotional decisions with your money. Converting to cash in your investment accounts could result in a melting ice cube situation where your money will not keep up with the pace of inflation. And we're certainly in the middle of that for sure. And you can lose buying power. Now is not the time to put your hard-earned money and hard-saving money under the mattress. For sure. A licensed financial advisor can help you reduce the volatility of your portfolio with a tactical asset allocation strategy, and that rebalances and rotates into desirable sectors of your investment on a monthly basis. Don't just hang in there with your investments. And I've heard, a lot of the answers that I heard from financial advisors sometimes was, hey, just hang in there. That's easy to say when it's not your money, Matt. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit different when it's your own, and
absolutely.
With market volatility and all of that, you don't want to. You want to give yourself a little bit longer for the hair to hang on to the top of the head, and for it to stay dark and not all turn white, and to keep the ulcers at bay.
Well. Yeah, thank God mine just turned. I thought I was going to go. My dad had salt and pepper hair. I mean, he's sharp looking guy. He had a great head of hair. I've got a good head of hair, but mine didn't go salt and pepper. It went white. That's where mine went. It went from, immediately went white. And so I didn't get the salt and pepper look, but at the end of the day, but I was reading the statistics. We do a radio show too, and I was doing a radio show earlier, and one of the statistics, it said, man, that, get this, only 8% of Americans use a financial advisor or coach or mentor when it comes to their money. Only 8%. That means 92% of the people out there do not. And so, if you're in that 92%, you may want to give us a call at 904-940-9555 to get some coaching or some mentor or investment situations with our companies. Myth number one, and we talk about 3 election year myths that are debunked, if you will. Myth number one, stocks don't do well in election years. Reality, return in election and non-election years usually aren't all that different, to be honest with you. We took how the S&P 500 has fared in both instances, going back to 1928 as far as we had data. Stocks returned at 7.5% on average during an election year, compared with 8% during a non-election year. So slightly weaker, but still pretty solid. So that kind of takes care of that. Myth number two, markets will crash if a particular candidate wins. Reality, we've seen boom and bust on both sides of the aisle. The economic backdrop tends to matter more, really, while stocks tend to rally in elections aftermath. It's true that some election years have seen bigger swings than others, but those instances have really tended to do more with the underlying microeconomic backdrop than the election itself. So myth number three, the Federal Reserve doesn't change policy in election years. Well, reality, the Federal hasn't really shined away from hiking or cutting rates during election years. Going back all the way to 1950 through 2012 has been the only election year that the Fed did not either raise or lower interest rate. 2012, similar to myth number two, suggests that the economy, rather than politics, is the driving seat for when it comes to monetary policy. We believe that this year will be no different. How can you plan for the year ahead, 2024? Well, while politics can evoke strong emotions, we don't think one should lose sight of the long-term investment goals. We believe that the economy will remain predominantly a driver of policy decisions and market broadly across all spectrums. Of course, there are risks from ongoing friction points such as inflation, wild cards such as geopolitics, but we believe also that the growth holds up, price pressure abate, and the Fed embarks on easing path. There is ample opportunity for multiple asset investors in this year ahead. We think about that. I mean, AI is a big buzzword today. Boy, AI is about into anything, and you got to be careful. There's some fears in regards to AI for sure. Anything can be used for not good. I did see a segment not too long ago where this AI can copy someone's voice. If it listens, let's say it listens to my voice, Matt, it actually can duplicate my voice. Therefore, I could call someone and you be thinking it's me, but it's not me at all. And I tell people you should get some safe words with your kids and grandkids, because there's a lot of scams going around today where they're using this AI to duplicate a voice of your kids or maybe your grandkids, and they're calling their papa or nana or grandmother or grandfather and saying they're in jail or an accident or they need money or things like that. You think you're sending it to your grandkid or your child, but you're not, So you got to be careful today. There's a lot of scams going out, but AI is certainly on the rise today as we look at this. So let's get into retirement a little bit and our three-step guide to preparing for retirement if you're 50 or older. Okay, so if you're 50 and older, that's me. Man, I don't think you're there yet, buddy. Are you? I don't think you're there yet.
Not quite yet.
You're not near there yet. You got too much. You ain't got enough gray hair, buddy. That's you, right? So and plus you still got hair. That's the other side of the fence.
Yeah, right? Well, there you go.
Right. So number one, find and examine your company 401k plan documents. Identify your account number, invested balance. Take note, you may not be fully vested in your account funds if your employer offers contribution matching. Plus, you should be aware that taxes are due on any distribution from a tax-deferred account like a 401k, 403b, or an IRA or a SEP program, or any type of situation, even a 457 program. You still have to pay taxes if it's tax-deferred. Meaning tax-deferred, meaning we are deferring down the road somewhere, right? So, number one. Number two, take advantage of our free 401k X-ray. We will show you how your portfolio is really performing when compared to common benchmarks such as the S&P 500 and how it's projected to perform in the future. We'll also show you what percent of your portfolio is in bonds, and we'll also going to show you what you're paying in fees in your 401k. And you need to know that not only just in your 401k, in any investment account, you need to know what you're paying in fees. Give us a call at 904-940-9555. If your 401k plan has a special provisions around retirement withdrawals, you want to make sure that you understand and compliant with all your plan's rules and to avoid any costly errors in making distributions, certainly from that account. Number two, check your Social Security benefit projection. Create your free account with Social Security Administration, SSA.gov, Social Security Administration.gov. Contact us for a free Social Security maximization report. We can help you with that. And really having a sense of what you'll receive in Social Security income can help you figure out how much you'll need by the time you retire going forward, because there may be an income gap, right? For instance, if you found out that you received $30,000 a year in Social Security benefits and your expenses are $80,000 per year, well, you know that you need to come up with another $50,000 worth of income in order to cover the budget deficit there between there. We talk about budget deficits. We think about the government. Lord Jesus, we need to go help them, Matt, be honest with you, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, we always talk about that website, was it usdebtclock.org, which follows the national debt. And boy, if you want to give yourself some anxiety and maybe a few more gray hairs on your head, that's a good website to go to for that situation.
Yeah, look how fast that clock's you're going up interest. Unbelievable. And then take note, additional income streams can come from personal savings, investment income, part-time work income, or even from a personal pension. Products like fixed index annuities can help in that area. And then knowing how much you'll receive in Social Security helps you make retirement income planning a bit more clear. You know, the beauty of checking on your Social Security early, you have more time to improve your Social Security payout by earning more in the coming years. You know, that's one thing that I'm getting maxing. I think I'm getting the max Social Security right now that you can get. I think my Social Security, I just got my 1099 in, I think day before yesterday. I think I made Social Security paid me $42,000. Now, do I get all that $42,000? No, because Medicare's in that. They take a big chunk of it. And is it taxable? And the answer in my case, it is taxable in regards to that because the income we make. But have a smart vision for your retirement future, even if you're only able to put together a rough sketch of how you think things might be when you retire. Putting your vision down in paper or speaking with a financial advisor is a great place to start. Guess what? We don't charge our listeners to contact us and for us to sit down and talk to them. So take advantage of that at 904-940-9555 or go on our website, yourfamilybank.org, and put your information in. We'll be glad to contact you. Ask yourself some key questions. Number one, who will I spend my time with in retirement? Will it be my spouse, family, grandkids, or friends? Why do I want retirement? As far as I want to travel? How about my hobbies? Am I playing golf every day? Guess what? It's expensive to do anything today. Your family, your grandkids, or friends. Where do I want to live in retirement? Do I want to stay in the family home? Am I going to downsize? Am I going to relocate to a new house? what do I want to do? I've just met with a client just recently today. Came in. They're 84 years old, and they had this great scheme, and we've done really, really good for them. But they live here in World Golf Village. That's where our offices is, right here in the retirement community here at World Golf Village. And they put their house on the market a year ago and wanted to sell their house. And they wanted to move to Tennessee. They had this great place picked out in Tennessee. They put a deposit down on it, $2,500 deposit, and had some work done in this, where they were going to buy this condo there in Tennessee. And their house didn't sell. And the sale fell through at the last minute. And the people were real good. They gave them 6 months to sell it, but they couldn't sell it. And the big drawback, the big drawback is because of the noise on 95, because 95 is just right outside our offices here. And where their house is close enough to 95 that they hear a lot of traffic. The problem with that is that they put a deposit down on the place in Tennessee and lost the $2,500 when they couldn't sell it, and they just put it back on the market right just a year later trying to get that. So sometimes your plans don't always work out the way that you wanted to do, and sometimes you may, at the end of the day, they could stay here if they needed to, but they want to downside and move away. And another question is asked, when do I want to retire? Or a better question is, when can I retire, right? Can I afford to retire? And that's one of the questions that we can answer for you. When can you retire? And then finally, how am I going to fund my vision for retirement? What does that vision look like? Am I going to try to travel every month, or am I going to go on a cruise every quarter, or whatever the case may be? But guess what? You can write those things down. When you write those things down, we're going to help you understand how you can do that. So we want to help you prepare for a successful retirement. You can contact this week for a full retirement consultation. No cost to you. It's going to be comprehensive. I promise you, to our listeners, it's complimentary. It's also comprehensive. You're really going to drill down and give you some answers that you need to know before you do retire. You're only going to work with us if it makes sense to you. Here's what I tell people, Matt. If we put a plan together that makes sense to you, it's not too long, not too short, not too hot, not too cold. If there's a cost, you're okay with that. Whatever that cost may be down the road, you're okay with that. And it puts you in a lot better financial situation. Would you make some financial changes if it makes sense to you? And I tell people, I said, listen, it doesn't make any sense, to do something, make changes if it's going to make you $100, because $100 is not worth it. But we're talking about, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars difference on what you can do for retirement. And especially what we do is to show people how to get out of debt. And seriously, that can create sometimes, not all cases, but some cases, over $1 million in regards to retirement. So we're going to help you analyze your financial situation. We'll closely examine your annuities if you have them, and you may currently have, and give them and see if those are working great for you. We're going to discover exactly how much you're paying in fees and help you cut unnecessary costs in your IRA or 401k and other retirement savings. We're going to help you with tax planning. One of the biggest problems today, one of the biggest situations out there for seniors and getting retirement is taxes, and making sure we do some tax planning. We have some qualified tax people that certainly can put a plan together and make sure that happens. And again, I was talking about earlier today, we had a client came in that wanted to do some work for trust work for their granddaughter and make sure their granddaughter is going to be taken care of. And we've got a legal team that helps, sits down with our clients and works all those things out. So we want to compare your current situation to what's possible. And if you choose to work with us, then that's great. But if you plan, not to, that's fine too. But, at the end of the day, you're not going to know whether or not to do it unless you come. I tell my kids, if you keep doing what you're doing, guess what? Nothing's going to change. You're going to keep doing what you're doing. You've got to make some changes in regards to that. And by the way, if you hadn't heard from your financial advisor lately, please, give us a call, give us a second opinion. we want to help you and on the path to retirement that you're always envisioned. And that's what we want to help you do. And we'll be able to tell you that, we say this, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? Let us help you get started with a complimentary consultation and plan that focuses on your specific financial goals. So, Matt, here's the thing, at the end of the day, this is what we do. We show people how they can, number one, get out of debt, have a great retirement, improve their cash flow, and show them, maybe some landmines along the way to not blow up their retirement program and get them in the position they can have that great retirement they want to. I mean, that's what we do, don't we, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is to make people's situations better and help them realize those dreams that they have, actually put those, put a plan in place and into practice so that that future that they envision for themselves, they can actually make that happen and do that. A big part of that, I know that of what you do there at your family bank, Larry, is to do that without the debt that's been, they've been saddled with perhaps for years and years and just haven't been able to get ahead, because that's a big hole to dig yourself out from under. But you all there, of course, have wonderful plans that you can put in place for folks to really teach them how to do it and do it a lot more quickly, I think, than they probably figure that they actually can.
Yeah, the great thing about it is that, we want to show people how to improve their cash flow. And one of the ways we talk about, you want to have multiple streams of income at retirement, and a few different ways that retirees generate the income that they need and live off of on their retirement is, there's some common ones. Number one, Social Security. That's certainly one that everybody probably is going to look at and have. Pensions, everybody doesn't have a pension for sure in regards to that. But I was talking to one of our clients today, one of the best retirement plans out there I've seen with CSX, which is railroad retirement. But with this guy retired years ago, the retirement plan for CSX a lot better than what it is today, because they've changed that, right? And then personal pensions, you can create personal pensions, and you may not have one from CSX, but you can create a personal pension, and withdrawals and distribution from retirement accounts like your 401k, IRA, 403b. Maybe you need to do a Roth conversion at this point or over the next 5 to 7 years. Income from investments like dividend paying stocks, brokerage accounts, CDs, real estate, part-time work. But a big one that we find also is create more income is get debt free. I mean, when you take your debt service and turn that into debt free, guess what? That's an income stream that you were paying and now you're not paying. So that's a guaranteed rate of return coming back to you. So, we know it's important to diversify your investments, but why, but it's also important to diversify your income streams in the way that they come to you and come through to you, and make it the most tax efficient way to do that, right, at the same time. So diversification of income streams, relying on a single source of income in retirement can be risky, especially, let's say, if you're retiring on the market. The market can go up and down, as we all know. So that a lot of times that's not a guaranteed situation. And having multiple streams provides safety net in the case of source diminishes the face of the child. I mean, it's just like having diversification in stocks. I mean, you don't want all your money in one stock. Why? Because something happens to that one stock, guess what? You're in trouble, right? Have things happen to companies over the years that people never thought. Enron, let's go there for a second, right? I mean, what happened to Enron, right? And so at the end of the day, and pensions and 401ks and all of those situations, I mean, you need to be diversified for sure in regards to that. Long-term stability. Retirement often lasts several decades, and having a diverse income stream enhances stability and financial over the long term. I had some couples, I said a few minutes ago, add a couple in today, they're 83 years old. Both of them are 83 years old. And both of them said they never dreamed that they're going to live to 83. I mean, they thought they wouldn't get past 75. Well, here they are, 8 years later. Thank God they're using us for, they haven't run out of income. So thank God for that. We've done very, very well from them. But at the end of the day, they never thought and by the way, there's no signs of they're checking out anytime soon. So we don't know, where they may go as far as, and a lot of times one of the biggest fears of seniors today is, living too long, running out of money, right? So you got to think of long-term also. And then risk mitigation, right? Various income sources may have different risk profiles. Combining low risk and high risk streams help mitigate over the financial risk. And you got to have adaptability to changing circumstances. Life circumstances can change. Having multiple income streams allow retirees to adapt to changes in health, family, economic conditions, and to be more effectively, right? So you gotta plan for that. You got to have an opportunity for growth. Some income streams have potential for growth. This growth can help retirees maintain the increase in their standard of living over time. By the way, that we talk about inflation so much lately because we've been there in that situation. Having an increase in income and growth helps to stay off inflation. And then legacy planning. Diverse income streams can contribute to building wealth that can be passed on as a legacy to your heirs or a charitable cause. I said a few minutes ago, we have the legal team sitting down with our clients and mapping out some things they want to do for their grandchildren and legacy planning. But you've got to be able to plan for that. You got to have a place to do that. And you want to avoid probate. And because I'm not doing legal advice, but a revocable living trust really, really fits in that arena to be able to not go through probate and make sure your assets pass the way that you want those assets and who you want those assets to go to and who do you want to be in charge of those assets as we go through that. So enhance the quality of life and peace of mind. Knowing that there are multiple sources of income provides retirees with peace of mind, reducing financial stress, and allowing them to function on their own. We talk about that for a second, and let me just pull something up real quick on my portfolio right here. So every day I look at my own portfolio, and some of it's red, some of it's green. Some stocks are up, some stocks are down, but priority, today if I look at most of the stocks are down a little bit today, right? But all in all, when I look at my own portfolio, what I'm doing for my own self, I want to do, we don't do for you what we don't do for ourselves at the end of the day. But having diversification on different sectors, number one, different stocks, dividend paying stocks, things of that nature, you want to create that benefit for yourself to be diversified. So everything may not going down. So yesterday, I can tell you, I lost $200 yesterday. But the day before that, I made $13,000. So you got to be diversified, right? Some days you win on these, some days you lose on those. But all in all, at the end of the day, you want to also have that money grow. All right, so most Americans feel they're unprepared for retirement. Fox Business did this. 51% of consumers between the age of 45 and 75 feel they do not have enough money for retirement to last for their lifetimes. 51%, Matt, 51% of the people today, we talk about, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? 51% definitely have doubt. 100% usually tell you they have doubt, or at least 99. But statistically, 51%. 32% are not confident they will have enough money in retirement to cover basic monthly expenses. What are we talking about basic monthly expenses? Well, we're talking about food. We're talking about transportation. We're talking about insurance. We may be talking about rent or taxes. Taxes is a big one, right? In regards to that, 32%. 44% are retired currently, are retired previously, have gone back to work. Wow, I never saw that before. 44% of the people that are retired or that retired or was retired went back to work. So my question is, you know what? Some people may went to work because they wanted to. I get that. I mean, I could see that, but I want to be in a position that if one of my clients, if they want to go to work, they can, but they don't have to, right, man? I mean, we don't want to have to go to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the scenario you want to find yourself in, is if you want to go back, you can. My dad was that way. I mean, he couldn't just sit around the house and do nothing all the time. You know, I mean, he had to get back out there. And so he got him a little part-time job here, part-time job there. Yeah. And that kept him occupied and let him do things that he wanted to do and interact with people and all that. But yeah, luckily, though, he was in a situation where he didn't have to do it. He just did it because he wanted to, and he felt like he needed to get out and do things.
Yeah. So we talk about retirement. Here's some interesting quotes from Jason Fitchner. He's a senior fellow and head of the Retirement Income Institute and chief economist with the Bipartisan Policy Center, both based in Washington, D.C. And he said there's been a seismic shift in retirement security from the time when many people could rely on a pension in their retirement. Today, many Americans are facing a retirement crisis because they are at risk of running out of money in their retirement. He also says that there's in the first retiring generation in which more than half don't have a pension to cover part of their retirement. This is a first retiring generation. Remember that over half of the people do not have a pension to cover part of the retirement costs. That makes this first generation where majority must rely on their own saving efforts to prepare for retirement, and Fitchner told Fox Business News recently. So a growing demand for protection and annuities. There's a survey that reveals how consumers want 80% of their retirement savings, which will cover their needs in retirement, to be invested in a safer, if you will, safer investment, and those protected by a pension or an annuity have a significant more positive outlook for their retirement prospects, according to the survey results. Now, here's what I will tell you. I can tell you from our own client situation, and one of the great things they say is that when we sit down and do their income planning and set everything up for them, you know, either before retirement or after they retire, one of the things we want to do, and I always say, you know, when I look at a client, if they're getting ready to retire, our plan has always been, and this business model has always worked for us. We want the 80-20 plan. 80% of our money is safe, 20% of the money is at risk. What does that mean? You want the 80% to grow. You want to have a positive growth on that, but also you want to have liquidity to get to that if you need it. But the 20% at risk, of course, is in the market. But my thoughts behind that, and it's worked for us, the market has dropped 50% twice. So if the market drops 50%, I'm really only down, when we look at our client's portfolio, we're only down 10%. We can make up 10%. It's hard to make up 50%. And it takes you a lot longer in regards to that. Consumers' demand for annuities have skyrocketed for all time had amid concerns of unprecedented market volatility, the failing of retirement investments, and investing in annuities can reduce stress and caused by market fluctuations, right? The study also found that 93% of consumers who diversified their portfolio with annuity in 2022 were satisfied with their choice. That's pretty good, right? Information on the lost decade. We talk about lost decade. That's what I just talked about just a minute. The 2000 through 2009, which they talk of the lost decade. Here's what statistics about that period did. And sometimes we forget, in the index 500, large cap stock had a negative return of 9.1% over the course of that decade. And here's how the commonly held index performed year by year. So 2001, it dropped 9%. 2000 dropped 9%. 2001, it dropped 11.9%. 2002, it dropped 22%. 2003 went up 28. 2004 went up 10. 2005, it went up 4.9. 2006, it went up 15.8. 2007, 5.5. Look, 2008, guess what? Dropped 37%. And 2009 went up 26. So why does this matter? Well, first of all, you want to protect the clients from what we call a sequence of return risks. Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. But it's important to remember that compound interest can work for both of you and against you, right? Please consider scheduling a free consultation with us so we can help you implement the plan that allows you to capture the stock market right returns without the stock market risk. And visit our website, yourfamilybank.org, or give us a call. And the thing we want to say is that you got a lost decade, right? That money went out 2010. It lost 9% in regards to that over the lost decade. And so there was no growth there. There was nothing but loss. So guess what? With loss comes gains. Now, we've had some good gains too. No doubt about that, right? But guess what? It goes both ways in regards to that. So one of the last parts I want to talk about is, do you know how much you're paying in fees? And, we find that most people we meet with do not understand the fees that they're paying inside their portfolios, retirement accounts. Many are paying excess in fees on assets that are underperforming. Fees affect everyone who's saving for retirement, regardless how much money they have in their nest egg. And remember, retirement is about income. It's not about building the biggest nest egg and, in regards to that, to a magic number. It's about income, how much income it can produce in regards to that. We help our clients take advantage of fee-efficient strategies while generating safe, predictable income streams they can never outlive. Did you know that you can establish your own personal pension by replacing bonds you hold with fixed indexed annuities while deleting the fees on the bond portfolio that you mentioned? So you're saving on both sides, right? Did you know what expense ratio is? If you look at expense ratios, look at your money that you're paying for managed fees over the total investment of your account. And so a lot of people have no idea what they're paying in fees. And one of the great things that we're able to do for our clients is to break down exactly what they're paying in fees and show them, how much they're paying in fees. And I think that's important to know that.
It's This Week in History.
All right, on January 27th, historical moment. On this date, 1973, the Vietnam War came to a close with the signing of the Paris Accord. The document ended America's longest world war at that time, and in exchange of prisoners, the United States forces performed an unilateral withdrawal of troops from South Vietnam. The official negotiations began in 1968 with multiple starts and stops before the agreement was finally reached between the parties involved. The pop culture here. On this date, 1976, the first episode of sitcom Laverne and Shirley aired on ABC. The show aired for 8 seasons from 1976 to 1983 and became the most watched program of television by the 3rd season. In total, the program received 6 Golden Globe nominations and 1 Emmy nomination. Historical moment. On this day, 1967, the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union signed an outer space agreement. The treaty banned the deployment of nuclear weapons in outer space and limited the use of moon for peaceful purposes. 1959, Disney releases animated motion picture Sleeping Beauty in the theaters. I remember seeing that for sure and hated witches ever since I ever saw Sleeping Beauty for sure. Still hate them today, Matt, to be honest with you.
Don't take an apple from one. There you go.
That's right. And apple's one of my favorite fruits, by the way. That's for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. We appreciate it. I hope we gave you some great information in retirement, and hopefully that you would give us a call. Why listen to it if you're not going to take action? Take notes is great, but you know what? You need to put those notes to work, and give us a call here at 904-940-9555. I'd be glad to help you any way we can with our team here, professionals. We'd love to help you. Matt, thank you so much for the day, buddy. I appreciate your help. God bless you, Matt. God bless America. And thank you so much, and have a great week.
Thanks for listening to the Your Family Bank Show with your host, Larry McClain. You deserve to work with an experienced financial professional who has a track record of helping clients exceed their financial goals by helping them eliminate debt and implementing safe and proven strategies. To schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Larry, visit yourfamilybank.org. Fixed annuities, including multi-year guaranteed rate annuities, are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuer.